Right, this is kind of a review for chapter 1017. I wasn't going to really do a video on this one because it wasn't really my favourite chapter. In fact, a lot of it, I got through a lot of it, and yeah, I was thinking this is just going to be one of the ones I'm not going to bother covering at all. And yeah, then the last page happened, and then it's like, oh, now I kind of got to talk about it. Yeah, I guess this is going to be a video that's more of like a theory video of like the history of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, rather than a review of the chapter. My review of the chapter, I guess, is that it was like a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. I thought there was a lot of filler, a lot of really slow progress in like a lot of the areas. I like that you got to see Queen's hybrid form, that was cool. And you know, you got to see Sanji kick in Queen's butt a little bit as well, so that was neat too. I don't really have anything to talk about other than that. Like, the stuff with Otama happened, but I already thought that stuff had happened, you know? I already thought the beast pirates that she had given the dango balls to had transferred over to our side. Most of this chapter to me felt like padding. And then of course, you know, we get to the last few pages and you get to find out a lot more about who's who and who is who. Yeah, you don't get to find out exactly who he is, but you get to find out a little bit about his history, that he used to be a member of, I think it's CP9, I always get the numbers wrong, but the sector of Cypher Pole with Rob Lucci in it. He was going to work for them, but apparently he just didn't make the cut. So yeah, that kind of sucks for him. But it is an interesting past for him. Like, we haven't met many other characters that are either involved with CP in some way or used to be involved with CP in some way, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody. And then the thing that I really, you know, turned the camera on to talk about this week was the last page, where apparently the Gomu Gomu no Mi was stolen from the world government. It's implied, I guess, that the Red Hat pirates are the ones that stole the fruit from, I don't know, either Cypher Pole or, you know, whatever sector of the government had it. But as Grand Line Reviews pointed out, it quite easily be the case that some other pirate faction took it from the government, and then the Red Hair pirates took it from them. So we don't really know. And you know, what else is interesting is that it must have had some sort of significance, and it's implied that the fruit itself had some sort of significance to the world government. Now, I don't really know how I feel about this, because I kind of like it in shows, particularly you see it in anime, where the main character, or a character, it doesn't have to be the main character, where they have like either no ability at all, or they have like a really rubbish ability, and that instead of them sort of being like born with this epic power, they come up with a clever way to use it, which is sort of specific to them, and it's sort of that they make the power special, not that the power makes them special. There was something about Dragon Ball I really liked in the original canon of why Goku was sent to Earth. Goku was sent to Earth in the original canon because he was a really low-level Saiyan, and the residents of Earth were really low-level as well in terms of power levels. So they just sent a low-level one to go conquer the planet because it should be an easy job, so they sent like a weakling off. But then the Broly movie kind of retconned that and made it that Goku actually had this, you know, suggested high power level from the beginning, and so Bardock and his wife, whose name I can't remember, sends him off to Earth to like protect him. And I don't know, it sort of undermines like a lot of Dragon Ball, I think, like particularly the fight between Vegeta and Goku. The thing that was so emblematic of the fight between those two was the fact that Goku, born with a low power level, he was born into a family of, you know, well, basically grunts, Whereas Vegeta was born as the Prince of the Saiyan, the cream of the crop. He should have been genetically the elite warrior, and yet through hard work and perseverance, and I guess through Goku's personality enabling him to meet and learn well under a variety of senseis, he was able to surpass even somebody who should be superior to him in every other sort of regard. But I'm using that as an example of why this worries me, I guess. Like, suddenly you've taken the idea of Luffy getting this pretty, like, average ability, which I wouldn't want the Gomu Gomu no Mi. But because he's Luffy, because of his determination, because of, like, the way he thinks, he was able to thrive with it, despite the fact that it wasn't particularly the best fruit. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the choice that's being made. Not that this is the choice that has been made so far. Like, we still don't really know why the government had it. But, I mean, I would suspect that the reason they'd have it is because it was significant, and it wouldn't be significant if it was a weak fruit. As for actual theory, I guess, the obvious one, I guess, is that the fruit was Gold Roger's, but I don't think that's going to be the case personally. Like, up till this point we haven't seen Gold Roger use any Devil Fruit abilities, and it's been implied that he's been as powerful as he is in spite of not having a fruit. So I don't think that's going to be retconned, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely that this fruit belonged to Joy Boy. I do. And it became in possession of the world government shortly after Joy Boy's disappearance from the world. And because Joy Boy was such a tour de force, they've thought, you know, we better keep this. Perhaps the world government have been somewhat, what would you say, informed, either through poneglyphs or, you know, through some sort of, what would the word be, a prophecy. Maybe they've had some sort of prophecy that a second Joy Boy was coming, and that he has a devil fruit power, either like the first Joy Boy did, or maybe it's just a prophecy that says something as simple as the person to overturn the world government will be a person who has a Gomu Gomu no Mi. And so they thought, hey, you know what, if we have the Gomu Gomu no Mi, well, then that won't be a problem, will it? Could also be the case that there is actually something special about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and that it's not that it's been prophesized or anything like that, but just in and of itself, the Gomu Gomu no Mi has some sort of property about it that makes it particularly dangerous to the world government. Perhaps the world government were planning to give the Gomu Gomu no Mi to somebody. Perhaps they had somebody particular in mind who they thought, if we give the Gomu Gomu no Mi to this person, they will thrive with it, and, you know, it'll give us more power. That's another option. Sort of in line with the last theory. Maybe it's not so much that there is a person in particular that the world government has in mind that they want to give the fruit to, but rather that there's a special use for it. You know, that the world government really need a stretchy man for a particular job, maybe to get the One Piece. Like, it's a key thing that you need to get it. Sort of like why they want Law's fruit, right? Like, Law isn't the important person there, nor is anybody who has the, I think he has the Oppi Oppi no Mi, the Room fruit. It's not the person that's special there, or really the fruit, even though the fruit is really powerful. But it's more the fact that whoever has it is able to make somebody immortal. It has this special property about it, you know, that it can make somebody immortal. Maybe there's some special function of the Gomu Gomu no Mi that we don't know about, and that's why they want it. Well, that's why they wanted it. You know, I think I'm going to settle with my original theory. The others are possibilities, and I'll throw them out there. I can't really think of any extra ones to throw on top of that pile. But the one I'm going to go with is that this was Joy Boy's fruit, and that the government know that, and as a result of them knowing it, they want to make sure it doesn't fall in the hands of anybody else, particularly any pirates, because of how much trouble the last pirate who had the Gomu Gomu and we had. So yeah, that's my kind of review for chapter 10-17. Yeah, I am going to finish off with a score for this one. I'm going to grant it a B-, but it only managed to crawl up to a B- because of that ending bombshell that was dropped. If it wasn't for that, I don't know, I think I'd probably stick with a C, maybe a C+, because I just thought it was an average chapter other than that. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and I don't know, tell me your theories for why the government is interested in the Gomu Gomu no Mi. I am actually interested. I'm interested to see if anybody can come up with any that I didn't come up with, because I think I pretty much covered it all. But yeah, anyway, done.